You're in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible, because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, fourth in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother, Majah. Barak. Yeshabiam, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to Priest General Lahab.
Come on, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
Yabashim and Shabrak brothers. What's going on, Ahabuan? Yabashim and Shabrak. Is my sound okay?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound good.
Come, Most High in Christ. All right, what's going on? Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous for the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at a 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Tonight is Monday night history class. Okay. Officer Kazaka of Detroit just held down a beautiful history class. And now we're going to get into, some of the Canadian side. All right. Anybody, tuned in on Toronto or Windsor, make it downtown Toronto this Saturday. We got camp at Dundas Square, all right, Sankofa Square. We'll be out there around 12 o'clock, 12 noon, probably till around 5. And so this history class, you could say, is dedicated to this week's camp, all right? I'll bring out some information for brothers, anybody tuned in. You want to learn some information, about Toronto or Canada. All right, this is a good class to tune into. Gonna help prepare brothers who are going out there Monday. Okay. Shout out to the chat. We got Maria and Nadaba Yahawada. What's going on? Yahawah Shema Thamba Shema Shah. All right. I want to get right into it, Ahabawan. I got like 20 articles lined up.
I got a couple too, sir. But
this
is your forte. This is your forte.
Yeah, I know there ain't no way I'm gonna get through all this information. So, I've been spending these last 3 hours trying to compact it to get some important points out. So, let's jump right into it.
If I may, before you jump to it, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you got to understand Israel. Remember, for those who went to public schooling, we were taught that our people fled from the southern states to the northern states and to Canada because it was safer for us, right? Deuteronomy 28:68 speaks about how we are going to go into this oppression, this slavery again, because of our actions. It was part of one of the curses, right? So Canada is supposed to be a safe haven for us. Remember, they told you to flee to the north. They told us to look at the North Star, follow the North Star, and go take it all the way as far as you can north. Today, we're going to bring out something that you probably wasn't told before. You wasn't told that, how can I say this? Canada didn't want your black ass either. Sir?
That's heavy. You know what? And, you just helped me, kind of, how would I say, segue through this class because, like I said, I got so much information. It's ridiculous. And so where I'm going to start is, let me share my screen on this. There was something called a 1911 bill that was passed inside of Canada in 1911. And it goes right on to the point of, what you were just speaking on, Ahabawan. Because Canada has, I will say, an extremely rich history of racism. You know what I mean? Extremely racist place. And a lot of people don't know about it. So let me start off with this article here. This is this is from Pierre 21 Research Immigration History on Black American History. All right, it says the color bar at the Canadian border, Black American farmers. It says, I am not sure whether it will interest you or not, but I may state that a number of colored people have been going from your district lately to Western Canada, and it is not considered that they are a class of colonists who will be likely to do well in our country. That was written by the Canadian Superintendent of Immigration. Okay, let me close this real quick. All right, and this is the introduction of it. It says policies of exclusion for undesirable immigrants and discrimination against Black Americans. Canada's early 20th century immigration policies deliberately excluded groups thought unsuited for integration beyond ordinary screening overseas. Canadian officials often took extraordinary steps to prevent these undesirable immigrants from traveling to Canada. If I could, Ahabawan, I want you to touch on that a little bit.
So before I touch on that, sir, we understand that even our oppressor, right, so-called oppressor that was helping us navigate through the Underground Railroad to get to the north, also told us to do what? Go to the north. Right. Go to the north. I want to bring up the scripture before I touch on that, if you don't mind.
Well, for sure.
Ecclesiasticus 12:10. never trust thine enemy.
Mm.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Right?
Man, that is, if I could, that's such a heavy precept. That's you know what I mean. I gotta clap it up for you because if you're black ass in America, follow this, the wisdom of the Bible. You would never trust white Canadians. You would never trust, British white people. You wouldn't trust white people from Italy, Scotland. I don't give a damn where they are on the earth. The Bible says to never trust thine enemy. And we just seem, too stubborn to learn this lesson. Go ahead, Avalon.
If I may, sir, why are we the only people it goes back to suffering from Stockholm syndrome. We the only people that trust our enemy, right? Think about this. The young boy that just went to jail for unaliving that devil,
Right.
right? Do you understand that other black people told their parents to go get a lawyer that is a devil?
That's heavy.
He told, look, you're supposed to trust. You should be able to get good counsel from other black people, but they're getting the counsel from another devil. They told you no. If I'm gonna say something like this to you, Israel, if your counselors are devils, they're deceiving you. If it's not going to benefit them, if it doesn't benefit them, they're not going to give you good advice. Did Pharaoh? Man, this is something that Kazak brought up. Did Pharaoh give the Hebrews good advice? No, he made them work. He made them work harder, right? With gruesome tactics and gruesome situations. Wouldn't allow them to go worship their God one day, right? And guess what? The people still got out there in the field and worked every day, right? But what was the Egyptians telling them? No, y'all got to get out here and work. That's what the Egyptians telling them. Oh, don't run. Think about this. The white man said that trying to run from slavery was a psychological breakdown in your mental. Try to escape oppression. When the Bible says oppression will make a wise man mad, and if oppression makes a wise man mad, then trying to escape oppression should make a wise man not so mad.
Right. God.
What we're trying to do right now is help you escape oppression.
God. That scripture, never trust thine enemies, Ahabawan, that is, to any brother going to camp this Saturday, that is a perfect precept to bring out. You know what I mean? There's someone in the chat saying, do y'all support Israel? Hell, fuck no. You know what I mean? The ISUPK, we support blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous. You know what I mean? A better question to ask is, when has Israel ever supported us?
If I may, sir.
Yep, go ahead.
There was a video where one of them Israelis said that the most dangerous thing to the Israelis on this planet is not Iranians getting nuclear bombs, right? It's not America turning on them. It's young black people. Do you have that video?
No, not right now.
But that's why we don't trust Israel.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure the sister's question was answered correctly.
I don't know if that's a sister. That might be a devil, Salakia.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Salakia then for calling you a sister.
I don't want to get too far into it with them. You know what I mean? Because like I say, there's so much information. And that spirit that you said of never trusting thine enemy, that's, you know what I mean? That's a heavy, heavy teaching point for blacks, Hispanics, and indigenous inside of Canada. And one of the things you know, that you'll learn, you know, as a brother or sister living inside Canada is because of how deceitful these people are, you could fall into that trap of trusting them. You know what I mean? Because of how they move as a nation, you might think this is a safe place, a beautiful place, but we should really understand as a people to never trust our enemy, no matter where on God's green earth they are.
If I may,
Understand?
sir,
Yeah, go ahead.
let me ask you a question. And now we see the injustices that's going on over in America because we're living here,
Right.
right? Are you seeing the same injustices over in Canada? Brothers and sisters getting gunned down in the street like dogs for having Subway sandwiches and cell phones. It's like it's against the law to eat a damn sandwich and have a cell phone and make a call to your mama,
Okay.
right? Pulled over. Look at the arrest rate compared to us to our oppressor, right?
Okay.
We're seeing those things, right? And then we're seeing statistics like black men are looked at as deadbeat fathers when statistically in America, out of all the nationalities that are here, black men are in the household more than any other nationality.
Okay.
Not only are they in the household more than any other nationalities, right? We're looked at as peddled as dope dealers and thugs.
Okay.
When the term thug came from the East Indians because they was out robbing and killing and shooting.
Yeah.
That's not us. We are a peaceful people. We always been a peaceful people. Even when Christopher Columbus came over to the Caribbean islands to see those people, he said, "Man, I could take care." And I paraphrase. He's like, "I take over these people with a small amount of men. There's no murder. There's no rape. There's no robbery amongst them." So where we got the murder, robbery, and rape from was our oppressor.
Okay. Yep. No, to answer your question, it absolutely happens inside of Canada. And there's a sister I always remember. Her name's Chantel Moore, because her mother called the police, looking for some assistance for her daughter, and her daughter ended up with 6 bullets in the head, from a police officer who was found not guilty. That's a story I always remember. Just to give an example of the things that happen to us here in Canada. And so, another thing to understand is, it's good to look up stories on indigenous people in Canada. You know what I mean? Canada itself as a country, its population isn't as big as the United States. So you're not going to have the, as many stories, you know what I mean, as you do in America. But it definitely goes on here. And that's a good point. I'll bring up the next video I have to segue into after I read this, just this last part of this bill, just to get an understanding. Okay, it says Canadian authorities also paid agents in the United States to warn Black Americans of the pernicious nature of Canada and to instruct them on its dangers. One such agent is G.W. Miller of Chicago, a Black American doctor, wrote a convincing, if contrived, editorial for the Oklahoma Guide, a newspaper with primarily Black readership published in Guthrie, Oklahoma, among other discouraging fancies, who wrote of the Canadian border that your wife and daughter are stripped of their clothes before your very eyes and examined by a board of men. This had the desired effect, with Miller reporting that poor reputation of Canada had spread throughout the state by the end of his work in July 1911. Not coincidentally, demand for immigration to Canada plummeted. So this is just one example of they lied to Black Americans. You know what I mean? Canadians straight up lied and said, when your women get over here, we're going to strip them naked, have bored men stare at them, watch them nude. You know what I mean? In order for them to enter the country, just as one of the thousands of pieces they put out to discourage black people from coming into Canada. You know what I mean? This isn't something that they really did. They just put it out in black newspapers to discourage black people from coming into Canada. Okay? This all happened in 1911. And let me see if there's a conclusion to this. It says the conclusion was the banning of black immigration. Okay, so understand this. What do we always say? 1867, slavery was abolished. So from 1867 to when slavery is so-called abolished, by 1911, white Canadians were so sick of black people, they banned Negroes from coming into the country.
Now I have another question, sir.
God, go ahead.
Would this be a precept that we can carry what you just said on? Mark 3:27, right? Because understand, your wife and your daughter is being stripped in front of you and examined, with whatever techniques that, because this oppressor is a PDF, right? Yeah, not just he's a PDF, he's a essayer. So with him being an essayer and a PDF, your wife and daughter is stripped nude in front of you, and they're poking and prodding.
No, Salakia, if I may. This wasn't something that really happened.
Okay.
This is what Canadians said would happen to your women if they came to Canada. And that was just, one of the examples on how they tried to discourage black people from coming into Canada.
Okay, so it's propaganda.
There you go, propaganda. And they put out all this propaganda because basically Canada, like the title of the class, they didn't want your black ass inside of Canada. They did not want you here. You know what I mean? And they went to so many different means possible to stop you, right up to the point of passing this bill in 1911. Okay.
So was the bill passed?
Yeah, the bill. So they say the bill was not legally passed, but the bill was quote unquote upheld.
Do you trust your oppressor?
The oppressor is the devil. You know what I mean?
Do you trust your oppressor? I think that bill was passed.
Yeah, it was passed.
He wouldn't let it. It wouldn't have came out if it wasn't passed.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed back in the country until 1955. We're gonna get to that. All right. So, just closing on this, it says the episode closes with a definitive act on the 12th of August, 1911. The Canadian government passed an order in council banning any immigration belonging to the Negro race. And they claimed it was deemed unsuitable to the climate and requirements of Canada. They said, this is what I mean about, shout out Itazarox in the chat. You know what I mean? Like when we say our oppressor is the devil, man, you really have to watch Canadians. You really have to watch white Canadians because they are some straight up, fork-tongued bastards. You know what I mean? They banned Negroes from coming in the country in 1911, and they claimed that it was, just out of love, boy. You know what I mean?
So why, if it's out of love, why everybody else wasn't banned?
God.
That would have been out of love.
They were not banned.
Here. We just want the Canadians. So, anybody that's not Canadian, a born Canadian citizen, you can't come over.
And that would be true if, they really cared about people. They would have said Canada is not a good place to live. You know what I mean? But they just said for the Negro race, it is not a good place to live.
They could have just said, "Nigga, it's too cold up here for y'all. It's too cold up here for y'all. We don't want y'all to come up here get frostbitten and things like that. We would like for you guys to stay towards the southern states because it's warm down there, and pick cotton while you do it."
Yep. God.
If I may, sir.
Yep. Go ahead.
I got something for you too, and this is Wikipedia. It says the Order in Council PC 1911, right, was a proposed 1-year prohibition of black immigrants from entering Canada because, according to the Order in Council, the Negro race was unsuitable to the climate and the requirements of Canada. Nigga, it's too cold up here. It was tabled on June 2nd, 1911, by the Minister of the Interior, Frank Oliver, following mounting pressure from the white prairie farmers who was discounted in the influx in the immigration of black farmers from the United States. So you got to understand, these black farmers was about to come up here, and the white farmers was thinking, hold on, they know how to farm better than us. That's the reason why we kidnapped their ass from the western coast of Africa, because they can farm better than us. They're not about to come up here and out-farm us. This is all about farming. Right?
That's such a heavy point, because something which is the same in America as it is in Canada is they will allow Mexicans into the country to come and farm and do all the labor that white Americans do not want to do. That is the only reason you're allowed in the country. And when they're done with you, they will kick you out of the country. Go ahead, Arbon.
Say, although it was approved by the Governor General in Council on August 12th, it was never officially invoked. You see that? That's that words are smoother than butter.
Yeah.
And words are smoother than butter.
I Tazra could like that one. It was not what do you call it? Not officially revoked.
It was never officially revoked, never officially invoked or added to the Immigrants Act, likely because the government, led by Prime Minister Wilfrid Laurier, was hesitant to alienate black voters ahead of the 1911 federal election. So, what we was talking about the young man that just went to jail, Carmelo Anthony, and it was rumored that the reason why the black lawyers didn't want to take that case is because they would lose their the white people that wanted to hire them as attorneys, and white people got money. So you know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like something that goes on in hip hop today, a sellout. Sounds like you sold your young brother out. It sounds like they sold him out.
Yep. Okay.
That's all I got on that one, sir.
Yep. No, that's so heavy. You know what I mean? Man, let me keep on going with this information, because like I said, I got so much stuff I want to bring out, but that piece was so perfect because it shows, and I'm gonna bring it to present time. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk. So we just touched, a little bit on 1911. They straight up banned black people. I think it was called like the 1911 Negro immigration thing in Canada. You know what I mean? You were straight up not allowed into the country if you were black. You know what I mean? They put a full out ban on you. All right. So now we're gonna fast forward to when this ban was lifted. All right. So in 1956, 57, they uplift this band from Canada. Okay. Did I might need to go back a little. Yeah, let me jump back just a little bit. Let me play it here.
Can't hear it, sir.
Can you hear it now?
Can't hear the video.
You can't hear the video at all?
La.
Oh. Okay. Let me okay, what I'll do is I'll bring up an article on this just for time's sake to keep going. So let me pull up there was something called the West Indian domestic scheme. Okay.
That sounds like it's gonna be some bull already.
Yeah, it's man. Let me lucky. I got, like I said, I got so many articles open. Let me try to get this right. So, and this article right here is speaking on the same thing that that video was about to touch on. Okay. So this is called the West Indian domestic scheme in Canada. Okay. It took place from 1955 and it ended in 1967. Okay. It says domestic labor refers to the essential work involved in maintaining a household, including cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, and caring for children and elders. The demand for domestic labor in Canada has often outpaced the supply of Canadian-born workers willing to participate in the field. As a response to the Canadian government has created various labor schemes to recruit women from Britain, America, Europe, and eventually the Caribbean. 1955 to 1967. The West Indian domestic scheme brought more than 3,000 Caribbean women, mostly from Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, and Trinidad and Tobago, to perform domestic labor in Canada. Okay, so what we were going to watch in the video was in around 1955, 1954, Canada, because of it, that 1911 No Negro immigration bill, they were bringing in British women, white women from Belgium, from Italy, Scotland, and as these women were coming into the country in Canada, they did not want to do domestic labor. They did not want to work inside of a household, you know what I mean, and be, you know, some white Canadian woman's nanny. And they were fighting to get into the workforce, you know, off the back of the other white women fighting for women's rights. This is probably going on around the same time in America, Abuwa. Right after World War II, you have the feminist movement, you have white women fighting for, you know, the right to enter the labor force. And this is what's going on in Canada.
If I may say real quick,
Yep, go ahead.
you get white women fighting to enter into the workforce, right? Black women was sitting at home because their husbands was over at the war and money was getting sent back, and then it was forcing our women to work. Them white women should have said, these sisters is taking our jobs, allow them to stay home and rest and let us get the jobs.
Yeah.
That's what they should have did. But no, they didn't think of it that way.
Nope.
Right? You should have been like, you know what? Government, allow her to stay home. That's a job for me. Right? A strong, independent white woman should have had that job. And the sister should have been able to collect that money that her husband was sending over from the war and take care of their family.
Okay.
With no interference.
And instead, you know, they decide to fight for these rights. And only because of that, Canada drops that 1911 act of no Negroes. That is the only reason that act gets dropped. And they say, we're going to hire Black Caribbean women. All right. It says domestic labor, or let me jump down. Domestic labor schemes in Canada. The first labor scheme for domestic workers targeted white British women in the late 19th century, just as I said. Many Canadian-born women refused to enter the field because of poor working conditions, even if that meant taking lower-paying jobs in more traditional fields. Rather than improve working conditions, the government decided to initiate a labor scheme. At the time, British women were the most preferred immigrants, as they were considered for their potential roles as future wives and mothers of the nation.
If I may.
Go ahead.
You notice those British women were not considered white yet.
God.
The Italians wasn't considered white either. Not in the beginning.
God. Select.
So what we have to understand, Israel, is that if those people, we'll bring it up another time about when those people became white, because the white nation and those white folk were, it was a small amount of them in the beginning. Because remember when Hitler did what he did over there in World War II, the only pure nation was the blonde hair and the blue eye folk, and he didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes, so I don't know where he got that from, but I digress.
Yeah, they don't that's what I mean. Even that person in the chat who said, do you support Israel? You know what I mean? Like, white people, they like to delineate themselves from other white people. You know what I mean? They like to say we're not brothers, when really you're all the same damn family. You know what I mean?
You know what they're saying, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're saying we're not the poor whites. That's what they saying. That's all they saying. We're not. Those are poor whites. And then as soon as those whites get some money, all right, we're not those whites. But then when them whites get some money, oh, we're not those whites. But come on in. As long as you get money, you're able to come in.
Okay.
Right. So black folk, I'm gonna tell you something. When you in America, when you in Canada, and you see this downtrodden white person on the corner begging for your cash, drive past them. Because if it was roles were reversed, he would drive past you too. Now, food drives, hand them some food, hand them some clothes. Don't reach in your pocket and give them no cash. Because I'm gonna tell you, like they said with us, when we was out in the corners begging, I remember a time in Detroit where you would get arrested if you was out panhandling on the corner. When I grew up, you would get arrested. They got a law called vagrancy law where you must have more than $20 in your pocket.
Right.
Right. So we should allow them people to live in their own laws.
Okay.
Because it would arrest them. Oh, he a vagrant, take him to jail. He has $19.99 in his pocket. Take him to jail. He's considered a vagrant.
Okay.
And if you see your brother out there begging, give him $20 so he won't be taken to jail for being a vagrant.
Good night. Good
I'm
night.
listening to the general too much.
God. Let me keep going. It says, as British immigration was eventually unable to fill the labor demand, as labor pools became exhausted, the government looked to other countries as sources for domestic labor. A precursor to the West Indian domestic scheme occurred in 1911 when 100 women from Guadeloupe were recruited to work in Quebec. The scheme was quickly canceled by the government, mostly due to racist public outcry about the supposed physical and moral unsuitability of the women. During the recession of 1913 to 1950, and as Canadians were willing to take any work, the government deported many Caribbean domestic workers for fear that they would become dependent on government assistance.
Now you know who get the most government assistant.
Mm.
Now understand this. In Americas, these people have had a 400+ year head start. They need some hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
They need some hurdles.
And what is isn't
go ahead,
that isn't that Slovakia? And isn't that what some of the reasons Donald Trump will say we got to deport these immigrants? The Mexicans are taking up too much of our jobs and our money, and the government's helping them too much. We got to get them out the country. Don't they say nonsense like that?
I've never had a look. Let me tell you something, sir. I had a nice paying, great job
God.
a couple weeks ago. Now, my direct manager was, because I'm no longer there, a devil.
God.
The man up over him is an Israelite, right? Is an Israelite. So in our department, when they had to make cuts in our department because we had another company come in and take over,
right?
Guess what they get rid of?
What's up?
I'm gonna tell you this: they got rid of the Issacharite and the Judite.
Right.
Right.
And
So,
go ahead. Yeah, and it's for a reason. Like all these consistencies that we see of how Blacks, Hispanics, and Indigenous are treated. We're treated like that everywhere. I'm gonna bring it back to the scripture you brought. When we are around our enemies.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like we can't get a peace of mind on the job. We can't get a peace of mind when we live in their country. You know what I mean? When we're not in their country, good night. What's that devil? Elon Musk. He just became the first trillionaire.
Yes, sir.
Do you know how much goddamn money that is?
No.
Man, we can't even comprehend or fathom how much these devils have. You know what I mean? $1 trillion. And you mean to tell me that, people inside of Jamaica have to suffer from poverty? We got to sit here and you have ghettos, barrios, and reservations. These reservations can't get no goddamn clean drinking water. And we got trillionaires on the earth. They will never help us, Ahabawa.
Never.
Why should we support the Israelis out there? Why should we support the Palestinians? We should not support any race but our own.
Well, let me, if I can say something, sir.
Go ahead.
America grants Israelis over $3.5 billion a year, plus all the military support they need.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What if they will provide Commander General Yohanna $3.5 billion? Matter of fact, $1.5 billion a year.
Right.
We're gonna say less than half, right? And we'll figure out our own military support.
Man, the amount of stuff we get done with $100, Ahabawa.
Imagine what we could do with $100. An extra $100 in every Black household. That's groceries. Guess what? That's groceries. That's 4 hours of work. You ain't got to do that week.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine making a decent wage and being able to provide for yourself and your family. Like I see brothers talking about, when we was younger, making minimum wage. Minimum wage, I think minimum wage should be the minimum for you to get you a small apartment, take care of your small household until you can get on your feet.
Right.
Minimum wage ain't that. I can't tell you what minimum wage is. I think it's like between $12 and $15 an hour.
Yeah.
Man, do you understand you will starve to death off of 12 and 14, $15 an hour?
Yeah.
With the way inflation is going, think about this. When you first put gas, the first time you ever put gas in the car, what was the price per gallon?
We do liters. over here. I'm not
Well,
sure.
price per liter. You know, you make a couple liters to make a gallon.
You saying right now?
Yeah. How much per liter?
It's like $1. I think it's around $1.80, $1.90.
Now it's $1.80.
Right now, count.
So that's high. So that's almost 4.5, $5 a gallon. I think it's 4 liters in a gallon.
Count.
I'm not sure. I think it's 4 liters in a gallon.
I think 3.5 liters.
3.5. 3.5 for same thing.
That'd be 3.8, something like that.
I can look it up. We could be.
Okay.
Hey Siri, how many liters in a gallon of gas?
Or it might be 2.8. I don't know why.
3.79. So 3.8.
3.7.
3.8 liters in a gallon of gas, right? So you paying $1.80 per liter,
Okay.
right? That's 3 of them.
Right.
So that's a $3 plus the 8. That's a 24. So then you're paying almost $5 a gallon.
Okay.
You're paying $5 a gallon of gas, right? So the first time you put gas in your car, when you first started driving, when you got license, how much was the gas then?
Ooh, it was like 65 cents.
Woo! Right? And they keep telling us every time the war on Iraq, the war on Iran, all these wars, when they ended, it was supposed to bring the gas prices down.
Right.
Right? When the Strait of Hormuz opened, when America stopped bombing Iran, right? When Israel stopped bombing Iran, all this stuff's supposed to bring the gas prices down. Right? When we take over, when America take over Venezuela, all this stuff supposed to bring the gas prices down. When Russia started drilling through the ice, when America depletes some of their reserves, all this stuff is supposed to bring the gas prices down, right? You still trust your enemy? Because the gas price still ain't went down.
God. Man, shoot, they study. Shoot, I had a whole college course on micro and macroeconomics. And these devils straight up study, you know, the price elasticity of something like gas. And they're like, these Negroes, they can't go without gas. We're gonna raise the price just cause. You know what I mean? And we're gonna raise it we're gonna raise it as high as it can possibly go to where people won't stop declining in buying gas.
Can I ask you another question, sir?
We go 10 cents over and we see people stop buying gas, they're gonna drop the gas price down 10 cents. Go ahead.
Understand this is that when has the price of food went down? Because the price of food was supposed to go down when the price of gas go down, right? When has the price of houses? The price of housing was supposed to go down because of inflation is so high and people not getting jobs. The price of housing is supposed to drop, but it don't. It seems like everything, and this oppressor, he's so greedy. This is how Elon Musk got to $1 trillion, and it's not enough money for him.
Yeah.
You know how much is too much money? Me personally, I couldn't have $1 trillion. I'll be buying stupid shit like Sunlight. Give me all this. I own the Sunlight now. Anybody that gets Sunlight on them got to pay me $1. Like, right? How much money is too much money?
Yeah.
I think which one of the prophets was praying, you know, to be rich, but he didn't want to be too rich, but because he may do some crazy stuff, and I'm paraphrasing, and then he wouldn't want to be poor because he didn't want to be too poor where he had to steal. Was that David?
I'm not sure, but
look that up.
If you could bring out, because this is right on to the point, you know, of the topic of the class. Look up Canadian farmers. They're something like the fifth. They're ranked like the top 5 in food exports. I think they made something like, or they exported something like $83 billion worth of produce. Yet they're only paying migrant farmers minimum wage. You know what I mean? It's on to that point of the greed. Like they're paying, you're Jamaican, you're Mexican, I mean, you're from a Caribbean island, you come to Canada, you know, because you're trying to make some, some money to bring back to your country. Canada's barely paying you minimum wage.
I got something on it, sir. Would you like to hear it?
God, go ahead.
It says Canadian agriculture and agri-food exports, including raw materials, seafood, and processed foods, total over $100 billion annually. As the world's ninth largest agro-food exporter, Canada sends more than half of the total food production to over 200 international markets, heavily anchoring a sector that contributes roughly $150 billion to the nation's gross domestic product.
Now look up how much do Jamaican migrants make working on those Canadian farms, because it goes right into the greed.
Working on Canadian
You know what I mean? Right into the greed of these people. You know what I mean?
Look at this.
Yep.
So, Jamaican migrants working on Canadian farms, excuse me, under the seasonal work program. So you understand what seasonal work program is. It's not all year.
No, it's 8 months.
It's not all year.
They let Jamaicans in for 8 months of the year.
It says make an average base wage ranging from $18.34 to $19.14 CDA per hour. That's Canadian, right? So understand that the American dollar is probably worth about what, $1.40 to the Canadian dollar or something like that.
Yep.
Right. So if this was in American money, this would be, a lot cheaper. So they're really only making between 13 to 16 bucks an hour, right? Depending on the province and their job qualifications, this roughly translate to $540 to $775 weekly before deductions, based on a 40 to 48 hour work week.
Yep.
So they ain't making no money.
They're not making no money. They Jamaicans are saying they're coming here working 8 months, and the purpose of it is to come here and bring money back, to their country. But they're getting back and they're coming back with no money. You know what I mean?
Hey, look, sir. So the Jamaican government levies up to $5.45 per working day and deducts to be sent back to Jamaican government to cover administrative support services. How is the Jamaican government covering administrative support, right? And these guys in Canada.
God. Oh man. Oh, we gonna get to that if we have enough. Let me keep reading through these articles, because I do want to get to some of those Jamaican migrant workers. I got some good stories on that. So let me end this part here. So we go, and I want to follow this timeline, right? So 1911, Canada puts this, 1911 bill, no Negroes are allowed in Canada. Okay. 1955, it gets lifted. Let me finish up this. I'll read this last paragraph here. It says, immigration of Caribbean domestic workers in Canada did not resume until 1955. You see that? They let in, they said 100 women, Ahabawan. They let in 100 women from 1911 to 1913, and they said that's too goddamn much.
If I may, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
ISUPK Flint in Mid-Michigan said gas in America was 35 cents per gallon around 1973. Right? So 53 years ago. 53 years ago now. In 1995, I got gas for 75 cents a gallon. Right? And I wasn't looking for the cheap gas station. I was going to the closest one.
Right.
So it's like, 75 cents a gallon. That's cool. I'm grabbing this. I
Man,
go
that
there,
wasn't even a thought back then.
man, throw it in the bag.
Shoot.
I remember my grandmother, she used to give me she'd have me running around the city on her errands. She give me like $8, $9, tank full,
Okay.
right? Tank full. She gave me $8, $9. I done ran her around, and at the time I was driving a '79 Firebird, so you know it burns gas. It was a guzzler,
Mm-hmm.
and that was easy. One of my aunts, her ex-husband, one day gave me $50 to take him to the east side and drop him off at a car dealership.
Okay.
You know what I did? Put 10 in the tank. Went and picked up the little girlfriend at the time, and we went out and had a nice evening, just going out to dinner.
Okay.
Right. So that's in 1995. So 1995 is 20, 30 years from where we at now.
Mhm.
31 years. So from 76, 73 to 95, gas prices only went up 40 cents.
Right.
Right. So over that, what's that? Almost 20 years, 22 year span. Over that 22-year span, gas prices went up 40 cents. Right? The next 20 years, gas prices up $3.25 because gas price about $4 a gallon. Well, yours is about $5 a gallon.
Right.
So inflation is ooh wee.
Yeah.
Is that because of the Strait of Hormuz? Is that because we're bombing Iran?
Oh man.
I don't know.
Shoot.
I know what it is because
They keep
you're
finding,
such the enemy.
yeah, they keep finding, new bodies of oil, every few months. Yeah. Shoot. Some new place, some new Caribbean island has the new oil.
Look, these oppressors will shut down the production of oil just so the prices will go up.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's not in abundance.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then go ahead and push these electric vehicles. If it's that scarce, that of a scarcity, we push these electric vehicles, and guess what? Now we're not running on fossil fuel. We're running on solar power and water and stuff like that to get these vehicles.
Okay.
Yes, sir. As UPK Flint say, the Canadian oppressors are just another Edomite.
Yep.
We brought that up earlier. Damn right.
Okay. Yep. I'm gonna keep going on this. It says, by then the Canadian government had been approached several times by Caribbean countries, which saw labor schemes as a way to manage high levels of unemployment and underdevelopment. In Canada, demand for domestic workers increased as more white women entered the workforce outside of the home. And as European labor pools became exhausted, Canada saw the scheme as a way to fill the need for domestic labor and improve trade relations in the Caribbean. So this year, 1955, they start letting black women, only black women, into the country. They lift that ban. It said to qualify, women had to be unmarried between the ages of 18 and 35 and have an 8th grade education. The women were granted permanent residency status and required to work for a period of 1 year before they were able to leave domestic service.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
What's so heavy about that is because we see that today where the oppressor is trying to separate our women from our men. They're trying to separate these women from their husbands, right? They're trying to separate get that woman by herself. Think about when war times went on. What happened? They killed off all the men and took in the women.
Okay.
Right? This is just another war tactic right here, sir. This is the way to break up the household.
Ooh-wee. Let me bring it home for you.
Okay.
Because what you see is they did this specifically with the intentions of that woman going back home. Because they didn't believe that a woman, imagine a woman, you're 19 years old, you grew up in Jamaica, you come to Canada, you don't know anybody.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You do this 1 year of hard domestic labor, and I'm going to read some of the experiences they had.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, that's why I had the video, because it was a sister, speaking on her experiences.
Do you want me to see if I can pull it up from my side?
No,
You
not just yet. I'll see.
Come on, sir.
Not just yet. You know what I mean? Because they didn't want the plan wasn't for black people to actually come here. The plan was to get these women to fill a labor need that Canada had. That was it. That's the only reason that black people were allowed to come in the country. This is in 1955. Okay.
I understand that, sir. But what I was saying is that once that oppressor gets that black woman away from her father or her husband or the man in the household that's supposed to protect her, now he can do all type of devious things to her.
Yeah, I'm right. She had no protection. And that's back to that scripture you said, never trust thine enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
can't against the language.
Man, you cannot, as a black man, a black father, you know what I mean? These women are 18 years old. She has a father. You thought it was safe for your daughter to go in the hands of some devil inside of Canada? That's why people like Carmelo Anthony, to this day, it's that idea of segregation. And this is what brothers this Saturday at camp got to bring out. Like, we should not trust these people at all. We should not integrate into their society. We should not trust them. We shouldn't, send our kids to their schools. We need to separate from them because they are absolute monsters.
Damn right.
You know what I mean? I'm going to read some of the experiences that these women had. It says, the women who participated in the scheme faced pressure from their home countries to guarantee the future success of the scheme. Women were given handbooks that provided advice on health and safety, proper attire, cultural differences, conditions of employment, proper conduct, and even personal cleanliness and grooming. They were expected to be courteous, polite, obedient, and perform duties cheerfully and efficiently. And I'm going to bring up how this is going on to this day. We're going to get into it. It says, the docility and subservience required of these women were not new ideas about black women's behavior. Prior to abolition in Canada, enslaved and free black women were most often charged with domestic duties in the households of their enslavers and employees. Black women were believed to be naturally suited to domestic service, and many Canadian-born black women were restricted to domestic services because of anti-black racism in the workforce. Many women who participated in the West Indian domestic scheme were highly educated and came to Canada for a variety of reasons, including furthering their education, seeing the world, and escaping poverty. However, their dreams of Canada did not always match their reality once they arrived. Most women arrived alone and struggled to find community or adapt to Canadian society. This was especially true for those who worked with families in cities and towns with little to no black population. Some women were lucky to have employers who helped them navigate Canadian society and provided good working conditions, while others exploited the women's vulnerable position.
Wait, sir, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I just want to ask you something. That line that you just read, about what you think the percentage is from one to another.
Oh, they were Well, think about this. You had that first year in 1955. You only had like 100 people that came to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You,
So they
you
never seen another black person in probably that entire year.
man, I need that video. That's lucky.
I'm just trying to help, sir. That's what I'm here for.
Oh, I know. It's you know what? I'm gonna type it. Let me see if you could pull it up. It's called I'm gonna type it in the private chat. Let me see. It's called Untold Stories. Let me see. On the private chat. So it's called Untold Stories, and you want episode 4 from CBC Gem. You
I'm
type
trying
that
to pull
in.
it up.
Yeah, you should find it right away. You know, I'm gonna read this last part, and then Lord allow you got that video. It says some participants worked long hours, were intentionally underpaid, forced to share rooms with children or pets. So you came from Jamaica and you were given a room with a dog.
So you know what they thought of you, right?
God. It says, and dealt with a high level of scrutiny and surveillance from their employers. In some cases, women were called racist slurs and experienced sexual abuse.
Wow.
You left your father in Jamaica to come to Canada to be molested, to be sexually abused, you know what I mean? To be raped, to be all different things, you know what I mean? It says women feared deportation if they reported their working conditions, and some were kept intentionally misinformed about their rights by their employers.
Slock it, sir, if I may.
Many who left domestic service at the contract experienced racial discrimination. Go ahead.
It's asking for a sign in, right?
Yep, you can sign in with your Google account.
All right. You got to create an account. I don't have one.
Oh, no sweat. Let me yeah, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Let me see. CBC Jam.
Let's see how. Yep, continue.
Yeah, see if you can get in.
Yeah, you got to give me a minute. I got to fill out all this information.
No sweat. Let me drop that because, and I don't know. Get me right on this, Ahabawan. Have you heard about the working conditions of, say, Mexican migrants coming into America? Do they not say the same things that they
Yes, sir.
They feel pressured to act a certain way? They feel that they have to put on a certain show for their employer, not to destroy the agreement that America has with Mexico. Don't those same things go on to this day?
Yes, sir.
This is happening in 1955, and because of their condition, like, they're allowed to go through these things. I have an article. Do you have the video
I
on?
can't pull it up now. It's saying it won't accept my zip code.
Oh, no sweat. Let me share my screen on this
All right.
because this is something going on in present day.
I might be at the back door though. I got an idea.
No sweat. This is an article, titled "Jamaican Farm Workers Decry Seismic Level Exploitation in Canada." It says this is in Montreal, Canada. Jamaican agricultural workers say they face conditions akin to systemic slavery on Canadian farms as they call on Jamaica to address systemic problems in a decades-old migrant labor program in Canada. In a letter sent to Jamaica's Minister of Labor and Social Security earlier this month, workers affiliated with rights group Migrant Workers Alliance for Change said they have been treated like mules on 2 farms in Ontario, Canada's most populous province. We are treated like mules and punished for not working fast enough.
Damn.
We are exposed to dangerous pesticides without proper protection. And our bosses are verbally abusive, swearing at us. They physically intimidate us, destroy our personal property, and threaten to send us home. This is going on right now, everyone. I remember reading, something about these migrant workers. One of the things they say is they have video surveillance all throughout their living quarters. And what I thought was interesting is we just read that same damn thing in 1955, where these women are coming from Jamaica into Canada, and they're saying we're being surveillanced while we're over here. You know what I mean? Like we're treated, I gotta say, worse than animals.
Yes,
You
we
know what I
are.
mean? Like we're not, like the way that they view us is it's, and what do they say? Chattel slavery.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Like you're something that makes money for your oppressor. These women are going down in 1955 to get sexually abused by a man who just looks at you to profit off of you. You know what I mean? And nothing else. You know what I mean? You have the women now going into the labor force, and what is it? It's opening positions for them to go make money in the workforce. And now your black ass comes in and plays nanny. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Getting paid next to nothing to keep the household running. You know what I mean? And what do? They look at you and sexually abuse you. You know what I mean? That I gotta
I
bring up
want to say,
that video. You know what I mean?
fuck it, sir. I
Yeah.
got one to say, growing up black in Montreal.
Nah, I don't want that right
That
now.
one, they won't let me pull that one up. I don't have access. I probably need a Canadian zip code.
Ain't no sweat. I can pull it up. I can pull it up right here. I'll pull it up right here. Okay. Gmail. You read a little more. See if I can read a little more on this. Oh, this is one of the things I was talking about right here, Abawan. It says long-standing problems between 50,000 and 60,000 foreign agricultural laborers come to Canada each year on a temporary permit to work in a range of sectors, from the planting and harvesting of fruits and vegetables to meat processing. Canada exported more than 63 billion, which is 82.2 billion Canadian dollars, in agriculture and food products in 2021, making it the 5th largest exporter of agri-food in the world. Yet foreign workers say they are forced to live in a crowded, substandard housing, to work long hours in unsafe conditions, to receive unfair wages, and to face being deported or barred from coming back to Canada for the next season if they raise concerns with their employees. Like you come over here, Habawan, you know what I mean? You got to keep your mouth closed.
And you know what they say, right? Shut up and play basketball.
Shut up and play. Don't complain. You can't complain about these conditions that you're living in. You can't complain about the conditions you're working in. You know what I mean? Why? Because, you're over here and we're allowing you, to make this money. We're allowing you to make minimum wage. we're allowing you to, you know, be inside of our quote unquote beautiful country.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That's the mindset of these people. I have a video. Let me see if I can pull that one up. There's this yeah, I got this video right here. Because it's this farmer from Nova Scotia, right? And he goes back to Jamaica, you know what I mean, to see how, you know, to see how his employee is living. Let me pull
They
this.
spent money. They follow this dude home. This lady home.
Good night. What did we just say? The cat they made over $82 billion. That was in 2021.
It made 100 billion. Was it 100 billion? What the story said about the firm?
I think you read 120 billion.
Yeah, 120 billion.
You read 120 billion.
All I gotta do is make that for a year. Then we ain't gotta work again.
Right. check this out.
Can I ask you a question?
Canada, most people can go out and get a.
Go ahead.
What year was this video made?
Let me see.
Because I want to let you know, high lows and cranes exist. The guy that they're working for is a dirty bastard. Because
well, this is them in Jamaica.
high lows and cranes exist.
Okay.
The guy that they're working for could use high lows and cranes, some type of lifting assistance, right? And then they wouldn't have to do that with the cement.
Right.
A mortgage, and you build a house. You hire a contractor, and boom, 4 months later you're moving in. But these guys don't have that kind of credit that's available, and when they do have credit, their interest rate is so high because the risk is so high that they don't. So they just do it as they have money. So yeah, they build a room, they make it livable, they move in, and then they just start adding on.
That's how it goes down here.
So they build their own houses.
No current today.
It's great. Feels great to be helping Babu move his dreams along like he helps me.
He said it feels great to help his worker as he helps him.
Well, buy my electric saw.
Yo,
A sharp saw, at least. Come on, man. You saw that? You cut wood before with a saw. You cut wood before with a saw, right? You know, look at that saw. That saw is dull as hell.
Yeah, it's this man is down on vacation in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He just on vacation. And he had the nerve to say he's gonna help him the way he helps me. You know how many millions of dollars this farmer makes?
Yes. So think about this, not just how many millions of dollars. He can't help him the way he helps him, right? Because understand is that he can't put in the effort that the Benjamite brother is putting in.
Right.
Right. If you look at the scripture about Christ spoke about who gave the most, and it was the woman that gave her last, was it 2 pence?
Right.
Right. This is what this brother's doing. He's giving this man his last 2 pence, and this Edomite won't even lift his fingers to help him.
God.
Because he could have, with him being a multi-million-dollar firm, he could have at least bought some electric tools, some air tools, and they could have put that house up 10 times faster. A nail gun, an electric saw. It wouldn't have cost them nothing. Home Depot got packages of them. I'm sure they got a Home Depot or something similar to it in Jamaica because they got too many items in there to work on. They got wood and cement and all that kind of stuff. You see where they probably confiscated the wood from somewhere else. He probably made them go tear down another house and get the wood.
God. You see the wood he was can I jump back?
You see how bad it looked? It looked like he's cutting off. He's cutting off the rot. That's rot there. Look at it. He's cutting off the rot.
This is what the man's using to build his house. And you care about your employee so goddamn.
What another thing is, Look at that is a raised platform. This man is sitting on the wood that he's cutting. That's dangerous. He don't care about his life. He don't care about his livelihood. He don't care about nothing.
Yeah.
Know what he care about? Build that house. Any means necessary. You want to listen to Malcolm X? Listen to him now. Any means necessary. That's what's going on. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, all have failed you, Israel. All.
Let me
Man, this stuff make me angry because he could easily buy the dude a saw. You know how fast he cut that with a saw? Yeah.
Yeah, take a second. Let me keep going. It says Jamaican workers expelled from Ontario farm after protesting poor conditions. The Canadian and Jamaican government are investigating allegations that an Ontario farm sent a group of Jamaican migrant workers home after they held a one-day strike to protest what they described as substandard living conditions. They expressed to me that they were disappointed with being returned early, which I think is normal and understandable. And they had some questions as to exactly what the reasons were. One of the young men said he was going back to the same farm for 6 years, and that in that time he had been told that he operated very efficiently. So he was shocked that he was sent back. Let me tell you something, Abawan. Let me pull up the pictures. There were videos showing overflowing toilets, flooding living quarters. Right? You see these pictures here?
Mm-hmm.
The water was overflowing out of the goddamn toilets into their living quarters. Okay?
So you know that smell like hell.
Oh my God. These brothers decide to stand up for one day and say, we ain't working till you fix this. Right? Here's the
all the person had to do was probably go get a snake and run the snake. So instead of spending a couple dollars on a snake and running the snake and keeping his workforce there,
right?
He draked them. I'm sick of you niggas. I'm sick of you niggas. I'm gonna hire some help. Get rid of you niggas.
This is what he says, Alvin, right here. They took a video of him. Just one part of it.
To be doing this, okay? It puts me in a bad spot. This is the wrong way to be doing this, okay? It puts me in a bad spot and tell me I know exactly every single person in this goddamn room.
This nigga, this devil's threatening him. He says, I know every one of you goddamn people in this room.
So are winners.
Okay? This is not the way you do things. I know.
You know what it does, right?
Ridiculous.
See, what our people don't understand is that when these oppressors don't give you your pay, they get it. When they don't pay you right, like they're supposed to, they don't give you your bonus, they don't pay you on time. That's because they're figuring out a way to keep your money themselves.
Okay.
Right? They give these upper management bonuses for getting the job done the fastest at the cheapest rate.
Okay.
Right? So I've learned that in my last job that sometimes you don't want to be the one to finish early and get everything knocked out fast. If it's a 6-month contract, do like the city workers do out there when they're working on the street. Take 6.5 months. You just 15 days, we have it done, sir. You can deal with 15 days. This thing's been shut down for 6 months. Yep. And smooth talk him the same way you smooth talk you. And get you an extra 15 days of pay out of it.
Okay.
I'm learning to slow up.
Okay.
I'm learning to slow up. I'm not about to knock out all my OPLs and all my agendas early so I can go ahead and walk around here and help some, some oppressor with his. I'm going to take the time that you give me in my contracts from now on, and I'm going to stretch them out.
Okay.
And I'm going to be right on time or a day late.
Yep.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be on time because if you can't, you're not gonna be able to knock me for being a day late.
Okay.
Or if I do knock it out, I ain't telling you till it's done. I'm not gonna tell the oppressor all the work he wanted me done is done. No, I still got things I have to do, I have to take care of. As soon as I'm done, sir, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay.
We've been sitting all spring, and now it's time to go, and this is the way I'm treated. That's, you know what, guys? That's no problem. That is no problem. You guys use that word a lot in Jamaica. That's no problem. This is no problem. Don't worry. We're going to have this fixed. If you choose not to work today, that will be a problem. Okay? Everybody was scheduled to go to work today. I have a schedule day in and day out for you, man. Some days you're working.
What did you say? He got a schedule. Didn't I just speak about that?
Yep.
He got a schedule. And if he gets it done early, right? If he gets it done early, if he gets it done cheaper without having to spend any extra finances, guess what happens? He gets that bonus. That goes to him because you already paid your hourly ass. Look what Chrysler did this year. Chrysler said we lost $26 billion. So their people are not getting, their people did not get a, what you call that, profit sharing. So you trying to tell me you spent $26 billion somewhere, or you lost $26 billion, and as a company, you didn't fold up? As a major automotive manufacturer, you did not fold up after losing $26 billion. Guess what that means? You got money to give these people because you didn't fold up. They've been receiving record number profit for years, and the profit sharing maxed out on Chrysler. I think it maxed out at 12 grand or something like that. So that means even though their profit sharing maxed out at 12 grand, you made this much more. You could have probably gave them 30 or 40 grand a year, and you didn't. So you couldn't have took some of that what you call that residual money and slide it to your people just to keep them happy. They could have gave each one of their employees $500 to $1,000 and not saying that we giving them nothing, and then they would not have so many disgruntled employees. But the people at the top wanted to keep their money. Just like the president of the union. If he screws over the union, he gets $100 million bonus. I'm not saying $100 million, but it's up there in the millions of the type of bonus he'll get.
Okay. This is a quote from one of the workers. It says, "It's not just power, but it's power coupled with racism. We see the situation of black and brown workers who feed us, and that's why they're treated very differently than other groups of people in our society." Let me pull up.
It's not just powered. He should have said it's powered by racism.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Because the thing about it is that oppressor, the only reason why he's yelling at him, because he can't put on his whip and slap their ass across the back.
Oh man, dude, you know how much money he's losing?
Yes.
That's all he cares about.
Because if he was losing so much money, he wouldn't have sent them home. He got a backup plan.
Oh, he's gonna get another, you know what I mean, another brother who will say, "Sir, yes, sir." That's it.
Look, the problem is, old nation that's not desired won't gather together. Okay. Because when my brothers got fired, he should have said, "Oh, I'm not working for you. You fired my brothers because you wouldn't clean the damn toilet out."
Right.
Yeah.
I got they don't release a lot of this information because Jamaicans actually don't want this to end. Like they want to be able to come to Canada and make money on these farms because they only have so many jobs in Jamaica. You know what I mean? You take this away from Jamaicans, like you're gonna hurt some families.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So it's like you in a catch-22.
Okay.
Right. In order for me to feed my family, I got to do this. But yet still, you understand that you're taking meals. The other person understands he's taking meals from those Jamaican men family. And them brothers will do anything to feed their family. Now, the oppressor, if he can't feed his family, what do? He gonna go home, shoot the wife, the kids, the grandmama, the auntie, and then himself.
Right. Yep.
Right? Think about the brother, not the brothers. Think about the oppressor who lost the house and all them savings in Vegas, in Michigan. Right? He went home and unalived everybody. The wife, the kids, the dog. You could have left the dog the hell alone. He'd have been straight. Like, just put me outside, my dog. Like, that's what the dog would say. Open the door. Like, this boy and the little girl might not be able to live without you. I know how to make it. And then he unalived himself because he lost everything.
Good night. This is this video right here just a little sneak peek on what the living, their living conditions look like. They don't show much.
This is one of the bunkhouses workers come home to. Another garage. This one, we're told, for 13 men. And
this is a garage.
This is a slave ship.
Yep, it's a garage that houses 13 men.
And there's this from a neighboring farm.
Could you imagine? You see this toilet? Could you imagine water overflowing out of this goddamn toilet into where you're living?
Look.
And you asking this devil just to fix the fucking toilet.
Somebody had falsely accused me of some things years ago. And I was in jail for a couple of days. And the toilet looked similar to that. Okay. Right? The guy said, hey, we flooded. They have to come here and clean it. Guess what they did? They flooded it. Right? They put us in a different cell for a minute, came and cleaned it all up. When we came back, we had a clean toilet.
Okay.
So these guys are living in jail, but yet still they have the illusion of being free.
Okay. How much is I'm just curious, how much is this thing right here? Says they have to work 240 hours within a period of 6 weeks or less.
240 hours. If you do 40 hours a week, at 6, that's 24. 240. That's 240 hours. So they have to work 40 hours a week in the period. But these guys probably working 10, 12 hours a day.
That's what's reported. And this isn't just like, this is labor. You know what I mean? Like, they're out. You know what I mean?
The farm jobs that Canadians refuse to.
Like, these are jobs that Canadians refuse to do. You know, that we take on as a people. You know what I mean?
What if they would have had an electric trimmer? How much more could they get done? A gas-powered trimmer, right? When you provide people the right tools for the job becomes more efficiently done, and you actually end up saving more money in the long run, because now you don't got these people out here for 6 weeks. Now you got them out here for 3.
Okay.
But the oppressor, what he says, this goes back to, what's the scripture about when they made them go get their, Exodus 1:14, sir. Do you mind if I pull that?
Yep, go ahead.
This is what this oppressor is about. Exodus 1:14. And I'm telling you, I stole this scripture from Kazakh too earlier. This says, the 13. It says, and went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strolled together, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest? Is that 1:14? Okay, wherefore smitest thou fellow? No, that's the wrong scripture. Wrong scripture.
Sluggy, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for the scripture in Exodus about what's it? Oh, no, I know why it's the wrong scripture. I'm at 2 of 14. I'm supposed to be at 1 of 14. 1 of 14. Let's start at 13, right? And the Egyptians, this is Exodus 1 and 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Israel serve with rigor.
Right.
Right? 14. And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage and mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field and their service wherein they made their service was with rigor. Right? Is that not what this? They could have provided them tools, right? They could have provided them tools. Not only could they have provided them tools, they could have provided them a clean place to lay their head where doo-doo filled water ain't running on their backs.
That's a heavy precept.
Snake the toilet.
Yeah. That's absolutely a good precept for this weekend too. Yeah, I mean, you compare that with we built them treasure cities.
Ooh,
like the amount of money that they make off of us, off the backs of us, is insane. You said $120 billion.
Yep.
And here you see this right here. These are the participants of this SAWP. Mexicans, Caribbean countries of Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, Dominica, Grenada, Jamaica, Montserrat, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadians and Trinidad and Tobago.
Look, sir, if I may, I've been to those Caribbean islands before.
Right.
St. Kitts, St. Thomas. Man, those are some beautiful areas.
Yeah.
Beautiful, not just the area, the culture, the people. I met a guy down there who spoke 8 different languages.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 8 different languages. I speak English, nigga. He spoke 8 different languages. I got that scripture. You want me to pull it, sir?
God, go ahead.
This is Nehemiah chapter 4 and verse 6. Right? When we start at 5.
Go ahead.
And cover not their iniquity, and let not their sin be blotted out before thee, Slaki. For they have provoked thee to anger before the builders. Verse 6. So built we the walls, and all the walls we joined together unto the half thereof. For the people.
Salakia. You want to get in Exodus.
Exodus?
Yeah. Built Pharaoh treasure cities.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's in Exodus. Like we made them you said, was that this year, Habawan, $120 billion?
Yep, 120 billion.
And you pay us minimum wage. That article said, these are only black and brown workers. Who's brown? Those are your Mexicans. You know what I mean? Your South Americans. The black people that they're speaking on here is the brothers from the Caribbean islands. Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad. You know what I mean? This is who they bring over to literally build their treasure cities. Go ahead and read that verse.
I just read Exodus 1 and 14. I think this is 1 and 11. I'll look right over that, sir.
God.
This is Exodus 1 and verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built of Pharaoh treasure cities. Pithom, and Ramius.
Man, those cities have still gone down in history. You know what I mean? You read about Python in history books. They tell you about how great of a city that was. That's what your black ass built. You know what I mean? Toronto is the third largest city in North America, right behind California and New York.
State. Oh, so it's-
Or what is it? Is it
it's like-
San? What's the city down in Cali?
the city in Cali,
Yeah,
that's. I didn't hear you were breaking up, sir. So I was trying to.
yeah. I'm not sure that largest city out in California.
I can look it up.
That's the largest city in North America. No, it's no sweat. And then after that, you got New York City. Then you got Toronto. Like Toronto is a large fucking city.
So, sir, Mexico City is the largest city in North America by population, or you want by size? Then it's New York City, then it's Los Angeles, then it's Toronto.
Okay, there you go. And then what? Chicago after that?
I only got the top four.
All right, no sweat. I'll take that.
I can pull more.
No, that's too wild. Like, you got Mexico City. Then you got Los Angeles,
Yep.
New York City, and Toronto. Those are treasure cities.
So it's Mexico City, New York City, Los Angeles, Toronto, Chicago, Houston, Havana, Cuba, Montreal, Canada, Philly, then Phoenix.
Oh, Montreal's up there. We're gonna be out in Montreal.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? These are two cities inside of Canada that are very large cities. You know what I mean? And what's something interesting about Toronto, as big as it is, there's only 70,000 indigenous people inside of Toronto.
You know why, right? Because we're walking on the rest of them.
That's right. Yeah, I don't like people don't understand the genocide that took place on our people. You know what I mean? And then outside of the genocide, you got blacks and Hispanics who are trying to fight to come into this country just to have a better life, just to provide something for their families, get them some health care, some food. That's all they want. But because of the hatred that Canadians have for our people, they do not allow us in the country. You know what's interesting, Ahabawan?
Yes, sir.
In these migrant workers from the Caribbean islands of Mexico that come to Canada, you want to know the one thing that they're asking for as, you know, some kind of repayment for the troubles that they're going through. See if you can look this up. I think there's a $550 million lawsuit towards Canada.
Say that again. A $550 billion lawsuit towards Canada.
$550 million lawsuit from Jamaicans, the Jamaican farmers. This lawsuit is on Canada because of how they mistreat our people. And the one thing that they ask for, Ahabawan, that they say they would take instead of the money, the repayment of the mistreatment, you take a guess what it is?
The one thing they would take for the repayment of the mistreatment.
Yep.
So they got a $550 million lawsuit.
Yep.
I can't see what you're gonna trade $550 million for right now. I told you, I don't know. After you get past $150, I don't know how much that is after that.
Listen, check this out, boy. That's what Jamaicans are asking for. They're just asking for citizenship.
In Canada?
In Canada. That's all they want.
Wait. So, I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
The scripture says, "Come, all of her thy people." right? Stop. We got to stop trying to join to our oppressors.
Man,
You know,
that's an excellent precept for this Saturday.
we have to stop trying to join with our oppressor. With us joining with our oppressor is death to us. It's Tamir Rice. It's Carmelo Anthony. It's Sandra Bland. It's Fidel Castile, right? George Floyd. That's what happened when you join to our oppressors, right? Our brothers and sisters are getting gunned down. Breonna Taylor was in her bed asleep and never woke up because a police officer fired through her window and hit her and unalived her.
Right.
Tamir Rice. I seen Tamir Rice sitting in the park with a toy gun. The police officer pulled up, jumped out the car, and fired on him. Never said put the gun down, never said nothing, right? Then I've seen devils firing upon devils. I've seen police officers get attacked by other devils. I've seen police officers get fired on upon other devils. There was two kids. There was one, I think they was 12 and 14, fired on police in Florida. The police said, let's wait till they run out of bullets, and then we just go in and get them.
Wow.
Tamir Rice never fired a bullet. Breonna Taylor never fired a bullet. Fernando Castile never fired a shot. And he look, guess what he had? He had a pistol's license. So the law said it's lawful for this man right here, a school teacher, in a car with his wife and his baby, to carry a firearm to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's reaching for his license, the officer's dumping on him.
Yeah.
Right? And guess what? Acquitted. The only one that was convicted was the ones that was firing at Breonna Taylor, and they missed.
Right.
They brought charges up on the ones that missed.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I want to go to Ezekiel, 35 and 5? Obadiah 1 and 5?
Yep.
Our oppressor has perpetual hatred towards us.
Yeah.
And when I'm having that hatred towards us, it's nothing. It's not. You said you want to get these brothers prepared, man. I think we got them prepared. You said that, sir.
Yep. I'm gonna pull up some quick statistics. Okay.
You want me to grab that Ezekiel while you doing that?
Hold that verse. That's gonna be a perfect precept to bring out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is this sharing my screen?
It's sharing the screen, but it's like shared on top of shared all the way back through.
How about right now? Can you see the screen?
Yes, but we see the screen as we see it in the chat.
Okay, Khan. Oh, I'm gonna read this really quick. This is in 2025, Canada welcomed 393,750 new immigrants in 2025. Okay. So Canada let in 400,000 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? Out of those 400,000, major English-speaking Caribbean nations like Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Guyana generally average fewer than 2,000 to 3,000 permanent residence entries each year. So out of those 400,000 people that Canada let in Audubon, 2,000 were black people.
How many again, sir?
2,000.
No, how many did they let in?
400,000.
So 400,000, right? Think about that. That's not even 13%. Like at least America got 13% of it.
That's like 0 point something percent.
That is nuts. That is nuts because what it's saying is the same thing the title of the class says is that we don't want your black ass here.
They don't want you. This is God. Check this out. This is 2025. It says, and this is a quick AI search. It says Canada admitted approximately 6,000 to 7,500 Mexican citizens as permanent residents. So, where's my screen at? So, out of 400,000, Ahabuan, you let around 8,000 black and brown people into the country. They got a $550 million lawsuit, Ahabuan. Jamaicans, and all they want is residency. That's it. That's all they want. they just want to leave Jamaica and come live with good old Europeans in Canada. That's all they want.
Hey, look, the oppressor said, "No, nigga."
Yeah, no.
No, nigga.
They are not letting you in the country, even if you work 8 months out of the year. Bringing these damn farmers $120 billion. Canadians are not letting you in.
No.
They opened that bill, Ahabuan, in 1955. And they said, okay, we'll let you guys in. They let us in as domestic workers. Not only did they let us in as domestic workers, but they tried to target young women so that they would go back to Jamaica.
After they SA'd them and cheated them out of their wages and mistreated them.
Okay.
I got 2 scriptures.
Yep, you got that verse?
I got Obadiah 1 and 10.
Okay.
Right? It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? Understand this is talking about how Esau has perpetual hatred towards you, Jacob. Who is Jacob? The children of Israel. So blacks, Native Americans, Hispanics. And just because he let Hispanics in there, think about this. He let how many Hispanics in there too?
6,000.
6,000. So he let 400,000 people in, right? He let 2,000 niggas from Jamaica in and 2 more thousand niggas that's Mexican. 4 more thousand. Right? You know why he does that? Because he wants you to fight against each other. So you can say, oh, he let us in, but he's not letting you in. Because he wants you to fight against each other. That's why he does that. Right? But then you got to understand this. This is going to be Isaiah 35 and 5, sir. It said, because thou hast a perpetual hatred, Slakia, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shedded the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Think about it. God said, because you have shedded the blood of the children of Israel when they on their knuckles, right? You won't let them into Canada so they can live free. You won't stop oppressing them in Jamaica. You won't stop unaliving them in the United States, right? Because of that, verse 6 go down. Therefore, as I live, the Lord said, as I live. Like, you know how them young cats be like, this on God? God said, I put this on me as I live.
Yeah.
Saith the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? Think about the bloodlust that oppressor has. He has to kill. He's killing shit since he's 4 years old, 3 years old. The first time they go out hunting is 3 years old. Right? It was a video of a young oppressor on the internet. And he told his black teacher, this is a young oppressor. He told his black teacher, they said, what you want to be when you grow up? He says, I want to be a murderer because I like killing. That's what he said, because I like killing. He said, and he's going to unalive everybody except for his family. And then the teacher said, what about me? He said, because he thought about it, like, I guess not you either.
Yeah,
I
man.
guess not you either.
Mm.
You know what? I wish I could find that video. I bet you I can.
I finally got that other video open.
Oh yeah, pull that. We'll bring this up next week.
Yeah, maybe we could go maybe 5 minutes over the time, just to touch a little on this video.
Sir, guess what?
Con.
Whatever you say. Con, I don't want con. That's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, no sweat. Let me
And I'm gonna try to find that other one real quick too while you're working on that one.
Con. I'm just letting the ad play out. Then I can open this, no sweat. YouTube, we do not own the rights to this video. We just sharing this for educational purposes. All right. Yeah, we got it up now.
In advance before they even showed up. Initially, it was white British women who were being recruited to come to Canada to work as domestic workers, but they were like, that's not the job that they wanted to do. In fact, Caribbean woman was the last unwanted alternative.
A new nation is born. The island of Jamaica, for 307 years a British possession, welcomes Princess Margaret here to represent Queen Elizabeth at independence ceremonies.
We also have to mention what is happening in the Caribbean. At the time, after the Caribbean become independent, they were left to function on their own without any support from Britain or, in the case of Haiti, the French. So you leave these countries in disarray. They're not able to support the population, and a very educated population at that. And so Caribbean governments, they're like, look, could you hire folks? And talking about the criteria, that's between the ages of 18, 38, maybe 40. You know, young, physically fit, morally upright, had at least grade 6 in terms of primary education, that they have no kids, that they have no partners, that they're single. That's how Black women, for the most part, entered into Canada, on the basis that you would assume this kind of menial, expendable, cheap labor. That
No, and that's an important thing to understand. This is the only way Black people were able to get into Canada. You look up the statistics, and I want brothers going to camp to understand this. The majority of Black people inside of Canada are from the tribe of Benjamin.
Yes, sir.
You don't have, you don't have the largest population of Judites inside of Canada. And the reason, a lot of Caribbean people made it into Canada is for two things. For one is we have this backwards ideology, that Canada is, going to be a better place for us. This is the thing that we were pushed through history, that Canada is this safe place for Black people to come and build a great future. I don't know if you remember that one class we did. It was speaking on, what they did to Blacks crossing the Detroit River coming into Windsor.
Yes, sir.
Your Black ass came to Windsor, and the citizens of Windsor bombed the places that you were staying at. They straight up bombed the shelters that you guys came to, and you thought this was the end of the Underground Railroad for you. You came to Canada and got bombed.
It was the end. That's why they bombed him.
That was the end. That was the end of your life.
Mm-hmm.
They have the newspaper. That's the newspaper I have saved. The article, the Maple Leaf newspaper. I think it was it 1916? I don't remember the year. Might have been 18 something. They said there is a cloud of smoke looming over Windsor, and it's a cloud. It's a black cloud of Negroes. The smoke was so great over Windsor. That's how many Black people were unalived. That's what the citizens of Windsor were saying. We thought it was a safe place. You want some good scriptures to bring out on Saturday? speak on that perfect one you just brought out. They have a perpetual hatred. They shed the blood of the children of Israel. You know what I mean? This thing is a constant. And we have to get this mentality of integration out of our heads. They damn near groomed us, groomed these women coming into Canada saying, act this way, speak this way, talk this way, fit in with these good white folk.
You know what's on the other side of that, though, sir?
Okay, go ahead.
Right, and because we could raise our daughters, act this way, speak this way, sit this way, right? With these scriptures, right? The women should be teaching the women, act this way, sit this way, right? The men should be teaching the young boys, act this way, carry yourself this way, talk this way, right? With these scriptures. That's what Commander General Yohana does to us.
Yeah.
The UPK teaches us act this way, talk this way, walk this way, right? To the point where we can walk down the street in unison and run into each other at the corner and still be in unison.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the video, sir. I think they banned it. They might have banned it because I was using it to push all type of truth.
God, ain't no sweat. I'll probably have to do another class on this because, like I said, I had so much information I wanted to bring out. You know what I mean? But again, topic of the class was Canada don't want your black ass. Like those statistics are 2,000 black people a year allowed into Canada.
But look how vast Canada is, right? They could put them black people in a part of Canada where they'll never see them again.
Look, I bring that up all the time. Canada, you can maybe bring up that statistic.
How much unused space Canada got?
Yeah, I think it's like 91% of Canada is unused. See if you can pull that statistic up real quick.
Will do. I got a mouse now, sir. So you see things get quicker.
God.
Finally got a mouse.
Most side Christ. Yeah, I mean, like there's no reason for them not to let you in the country. You know what I mean? Damn near to the point they need your work so badly, they bring you in the country 8 months out of the year. They got a specific program for Mexican.
You ain't gonna believe this.
Canadians. That program is for you to come into the country and make them billions of dollars. Go ahead, Arbon.
So, sir.
Yep.
Approximately 80% of Canada's land is uninhabited or unused for agriculture, with only about 7% considered arable, right?
Damn.
And they still, we ain't using this land over here, but we not giving it to you niggas. Look, y'all, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, and comment. Sir?
Damn right. I ain't gotta say nothing else. Lucky. You know what I mean? Another Monday Night History class. Tune into the Generals. I mean, Commander General Yohana's live. Tune into Black Watch. All right. Another Monday Night History class. With that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.